Okay, my name is Robert von Bahr, and I'm the CEO and of BIS Records and eclassical.com, one record label and one downloading company in Sweden. We work over the whole world, and I think that BIS actually is the oldest record label in the world, led by its founder at this time. We started 40 years ago. I would say that one would be that I'm extremely stubborn. If I really want to do something, I do it. The second one would be quality conscious. And the third one, a missionary. Yes, you could say that, a missionary. I really do want to give people the choice of having repertoire to choose from. Unless somebody records it, people won't know it, and therefore they can't choose whether they like it or not. It started, as I said, 40 years ago, a little bit more than 40 years ago, in that my then wife, who was a flautist, I wanted her to make a record, and nobody wanted her for three reasons. A, it was classical music. B, it was modern music. And C, she was unknown. And all those 3 points together made it impossible to make a record. So we did it ourselves. And having done it ourselves and found out that it went very well indeed, we continued. It was the first album. It actually wasn't released by us because we didn't have a company. We just made the recording, we did the photograph, we wrote the text, and we made the whole production. Then somebody took it over and they made a success. Our first production was actually a very funny job. Jewish liturgical music with the cantor in Stockholm, who then was 70, my age now. And I thought that we should record him before he died. Somebody told me I was a student at the conservatory in singing pedagogue class, and this man, 70 years old, sang absolutely enormously, incredibly, fantastically. And so I thought, we must do it before he dies. Of course, he continued singing until he was 95. So I didn't have that much of a hurry. But that was the first record, a very, very tough one. It's pretty much that what I hinted on before, the missionary thing. I believe that music has a right to be heard. And of course, some music is performed once or twice locally somewhere, but that doesn't mean that anybody else can hear it. And I think that there is so much music to be discovered and so many artists to be discovered, and we want to discover them and help them and give them a helping hand. And we have done that, and several of our artists have gone on to have world careers, I mean real world careers, and several of the composers that I have found, so to say, have also become household names, like Alfred Schnittke, the Russian, whom I discovered. Yevgeny Sudbin is a pianist, and he is just, when he sits at the piano, I mean, the most famous piece comes alive again. If you take a wind player, Christian Lindberg, trombone, Martin Fröst, clarinet, Sharon Bezali, flute, are three of many people. Frank Peter Zimmermann, violin, Christian Poltera, cello, Maxim Rysanov, viola. I can go on, I shouldn't go on. It's just a lot of names, catalog aria. But these are people who actually have something to say and the means to say it. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a phantom who can play only fast, loud, and so on. It's totally uninteresting in the long run. I think we are pretty all-encompassing, really. If there's any instrument, it would be flute, because I play the flute myself. My first wife was a flute, my third wife was a flutist. And so I would say flute, yes, has a bit of a special position with this, but that's all. We find that if you have music that has not been listened to death, so to say, and it's interesting music, and you can present it in some way, in that way, then a pretty good amount of young people come and listen to it. It doesn't have to be, for the young people, it doesn't have to be, how should I say, established composers or established artists. They are interested in something new, something interesting. For instance, we will just now release a record of a theremin concerto. And theremin being an instrument I hadn't heard of. It's an electronic instrument. You sit like this, you play with the left hand, you decide how loud it is, and with the right hand, the pitch. And everything goes by waves, and it comes out like it's an electronic instrument. It's usually being used for making spooky effects on movies and so on. But actually, Kalevi Aho, a fantastic composer from Finland, whom we're doing everything he writes of, he has composed a concerto for that, which is coming out. And it's completely mind-boggling music in a mind-boggling instrument. It's fantastic. And this, I think, will attract also young people. No, it's a compliment. It's a compliment. We all know, and there's no secret about that the physical sales is going down, and we have to compensate for somehow, or we have to make sure that music is being disseminated to be spread to other people who do not anymore have access to a record shop. And for that, online music is really good. Downloading is of course the one I prefer, but streaming is also very effective. It doesn't pay anything though. And we need to have some money in order to be able to invest in the next record. I mean, everybody will say the same. Hey, I'm 70, I want to be alive. I actually think we should continue like we are doing now. I think we have a niche track in a way, but I like it, and it would seem that many other people like it too. I think that we want to be missionaries. We want to give people, the customer, the choice. The choice is a master word for us. If something is not recorded, they will not hear it. Simple as that. And then they can't take a choice. We want to give them that choice.